fantasy football.
It's my quarterback. If you guys do that, man, it's unfair.
How's your fantasy team looking this year?
I won $1 million.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
Hey, it's Nick Vada, and you're listening to my Fantasy Wife podcast. I like two things more than anything else, fantasy podcast and wife podcast. It just has got both.
My Fantasy Wife podcast.
Style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable.
Blaire.
I watched 40 minutes of Space Jam this weekend. It's 40 minutes of my life. I'm not going to get back.
Put that in your pipe and smoke.
Gary.
They had already announced he was leaving. He just didn't want to wait out the 30. You know, when you quit a job, you got to give him 30 days or whatever.
2 weeks. You've never had a real job, have you?
No.
He is the man in the fantasy world.
Drew.
You're not a Peyton Manning fan,
I'm not a Manning fan.
You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious!
Lewis.
You love Burger King.
Yeah, I like Burger King.
Yeah.
Not the game. We're talking about practice, man.
You're listening to My Fantasy Wife podcast. www.myfantasywife.com.
Welcome, listeners, to My Fantasy Wife, the weekly sports meets comedy meets marriage podcast, where a husband and wife discuss sports, fantasy leagues, and their impact on pop culture and relationships, including their own. I'm the wife comedian Blaire Postman.
Yay.
I'm joined by my husband and sports stat expert Gary Hayes. Woohoo! We're joined by Hot Topics and social media maven comedian Drew Harrison.
Hello.
And rounding things out, sound engineer, comedian, and man about town, Mr. Louis Bishop. To never miss our weekly episodes and extras, subscribe in iTunes, Stitcher, or YouTube. Find us on Facebook and Instagram at My Fantasy Wife Podcast, Twitter at My Fant Wife, and support the podcast, please, for the love of Christ, by liking and rating us in iTunes. Miss any of that? Then just go to our website, myfantasywife.com, with links to everything. Gary?
Yes, Blaire.
Tell us about this week's sponsor.
Sure. This week's sponsor is Pod Hive. From a nest of tunnels in the Balkans surrounding a central brain chamber, the Overlord... Okay, I'll stop.
Or...
Podhive.com matches small to mid-sized podcasts and advertisers. Podcasts get matched with advertisers who might otherwise miss them. Advertisers get heard by listeners of cool podcasts who would be their perfect customers. It's an audio sponsorship love connection. Go to podhive.com for more information. That's podhive.com. Go there or else.
Wow. Hey, it's a very, very full house here today.
It is.
Hold on a second. That was nice. Hi, everybody. I don't know when we've had the whole team in here in the last... It might have been 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like, without Will's filling in for one or the other of you, or me and Lewis alone. You know.
What's that old blues standard? The thrill is gone? B.B. King?
Why would you say that?
Well, that's why nobody's ever showing up anymore.
No, that's not it. It's been a series of unfortunate events. And we have a special guest in studio today. Fenway, the sausage dog.
Yay!
He's not your usual sausage dog, though.
No,
he's
a
long-haired
He's
sausage
a Muppet
dog.
sausage dog.
He is. He looks like that Muppet dog.
This is like, on Family Guy when Jim Henson dies and we have odd-sounding Muppets. This is like the sausage dog with the odd hair.
Oh, well, Fenway. You've committed to being in the studio now, Fenway. Now he looks like he thinks he made the wrong choice.
Like,
I could cook you some spaghetti and meatballs. That is my specialty and stuff. Yay!
What?
That's what the Muppet said. There's a Swedish chef in Kermit the Frog.
Okay, guys. Well, upcoming guest this week from Night Train with Wyatt Cenac, comedian Chanel Ali out of New York. Woo! Originally from Philadelphia. And we have some other exciting guests in the works, but just a note, a programming note.
The thrill is gone?
The thrill is not gone for me.
But is that what this is?
Oh, maybe. So. Yeah. Okay, yes. The thrill will be gone next weekend because for Easter, some people have families and do stuff. So we will not be recording. There will not be a new episode next week. Although you never know what Gary and I, bored on Easter Sunday, might concoct and upload against the better thoughts of sophisticated radio people like
Yes,
Mr.
we've
Bishop.
combined for Easter the traditional Easter egg hunt with that movie starring Ice Cube where they captured him and released him like in the wilds of Alaska and then hunting humans.
I don't know that one.
Yeah.
Oh God, what is that called?
Yeah.
That is
Drew.
Did
have
you
your
say
phone
Ice Cube?
available?
It's
I think
Ice T.
it's Ice-T, maybe. Yeah, maybe it's Ice-T. Yeah.
And it's got
Ice-T?
Gary Busey in it.
Yes,
Oh
yes,
my
it does.
gosh.
It's
And
an old movie.
And Gary Busey, I want to say Thrill of the Hunt, something like that.
The thrill is gone, but not the thrill of the hunt.
Right.
Wow.
Nothing like Long Pig. A little snack of Long Pig.
Is it Law and Order SVU?
No.
A very special Law and Order SVU. Well, we're gonna get to a little fact checking in a second, but first of all, just for to note, this was local headliners weekend at Dead Crow Comedy in Wilmington, North Carolina, and Drew co-headlined on Friday, and Mr. Bishop headlined last night. So big round of applause! Woo! And lots of other great shows with
Is
great
this in
headliners.
the early 90s?
Yes, early 90s. Ice-T, Gary Busey. It also had that one black guy.
Oh.
You know the one.
Just throwing it out there, Ice-T was in a movie in 96 called Frankenpenis.
No.
Yeah, I don't think
Which is something we did need to know.
Surviving the game.
That's
the
it.
game.
That's it.
Oh,
That's
wow. All right, well, speaking, that was kind of like an in-studio fact check. Let's call Mr. Wills Maxwell. Mr. Wills Maxwell is our ombudsman, and he helps us with fact-checking. Listeners, fact-checking is the part of the podcast where we correct the mistakes we made last week to make room for the mistakes that we are going to almost inevitably make this week. I don't have a bad attitude. We're just human. It happens.
The wheels is gone.
Oh, if that...
Hello?
Oh, hello, Wills Maxwell. How are you, my dear friend?
I'm swell. How are you doing?
I'm doing just fine. Thank you, just fine. We've got a full house here today. Gary, Drew, and Lewis and I all here in the studio.
Oh, wow. It feels like ages.
I know. It does feel like ages. In the background, you
Hey,
can't
don't
hear
say
it.
Full House unless you can let me watch some.
Okay. Well, maybe later if you're good. So we're in the background. You can't hear it. Is playing "The Thrill Is Gone."
B.B. King.
Right.
That guy can play the guitar. He's going to make it, I think.
You think he's going to make it?
Yeah.
Oh well. I guess you
It's
know about
nice-
these things.
It's nice for Bishop to play up-and-coming artists on
Yeah,
the
it is. Yeah, we're breaking new talent.
It's very
here on
twangy.
My Fantasy Wife podcast. So
Well, I hope this BB King guy makes it.
yeah. So Mr. Maxwell, do you have any fact checks from episode 111 for us?
Okay, mostly a lot of good news.
Oh.
I just looked up stuff we said, and in order to confirm that we were right, we pretty much got a clean bill of correct, like a really nice correct streak.
Okay.
On that last show. Las Vegas Stadium, which that's the name for it right now. I guess there's no like really wealthy donor to slap their name on it.
Yet.
So right now it's Las Vegas Stadium.
Right.
It's going to be the home for the new Raiders.
Yeah.
The Raiders, and also for the University of Nevada, Las Vegas college football team.
Okay.
Their full name is going to be the New Raiders of the Purple Sage.
Is that like a band?
Will's like that one.
Is that a band or something?
I don't. I just report these things.
What is that from?
I just like the name. It fits.
Yeah.
I'm still hoping they change to the Flamingos.
Okay. Well, here's to hoping.
Yeah.
So that stadium will be ready to play by 2020. But in the 2019 season, they're going to move to Las Vegas and play in a temporary place.
Okay.
Until the Las Vegas Stadium is open.
All right.
UConn's women's win streak was, just like you said, on the 111th episode. It was 111 games.
Wow.
Wow.
Weird.
And Gary called out our guest on this.
Yeah.
I guess I'm assuming this is just because we were dealing with Fun Timmy.
Right.
He explained that he played golf for VCU and played in the ACC golf tournament.
Right.
I spent about 20 minutes looking into this just to make sure, but there was at no point in time, as far as I can tell, a year where VCU went to the ACC tournament instead of the Atlantic.
Right. Wills Maxwell is in the archives. He's deep in the pit of the archive, the library, looking into early 80s golf records.
Certain things I know a lot about. The ACC basketball history is one of them. VCU has never been in the ACC.
Yeah.
VCU's never even dreamed
So
of
Timmy
being
was just in Chapel Hill drinking, and he played golf with someone.
Right.
My take.
Yeah.
It's my takeaway from that. Right. All right. Well, anything else, Wills?
Okay, so it was very disappointing that the viewers couldn't hear this, the listeners couldn't hear this on the podcast. But it was very audible to us. For the last 40 minutes of the show, there was an ice cream van outside the studio.
Yes.
Not going anywhere.
Yeah, we weren't hallucinating. That was a real thing that happened.
Yeah. Full of agents,
ice creams?
Full of agents of the hive.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So it was agents of the hive. So this is more of a fun trivia fact. I looked up if there were any instances of ice cream van murdering.
Yeah.
Because that was what we were nervous about.
Yeah.
And what I found was that in Scotland in the 1980s, basically the criminal organizations back then, the mobs, if you will, were running operations out of ice cream vans.
Like Snatch.
And using ice cream vans to establish their territory.
Wow.
Well, if you've ever watched the show Shameless, they were selling drugs out of the ice cream truck in the show Shameless.
And, Twisted Metal. That was a good one, too.
Oh, wow. Good sleuthing there, Mr. Maxwell.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right.
So this all came to an end when one of the van mobs burned down another van mob.
Ooh.
And basically killed that driver and his family in an arson attack.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Ice cream trucks are not to be trusted.
Right.
And that's why they're in the same cul-de-sac for 40 minutes. Despite there being no customers.
Right.
Just had to end on a nice little high note there, didn't you, Will?
While we're on the subject,
I had to.
While we're on the subject, Wills, did you know that Ben & Jerry's is now making ice cream bars?
That's not what they do.
Well,
they're
they
pretty
do
good,
now,
dude.
And they're fantastic, and
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to have any more because sometimes some people
they're all gone now.
Some people can't have just one because they got problems.
Hold on, so this is a real thing? I thought that was a Gary joke.
No.
I was like, man, I usually
them
get
all
Gary's
week.
jokes. I didn't
We've
get
been
this one.
eating them all week.
Yeah, no, they're deliciously delicious.
All right, I'll have to find
They're
it
like
out.
a Klondike bar, but with Ben
But with
Jerry's
Ben and Jerry's
flavors.
stuff.
Well,
and
yeah,
So you
that
get fish
sounds...
food?
and the round and the chocolate's
Now,
much
they only have 3 or
thicker.
4 right now, but I'm sure more are coming.
Yeah, and they got chocolate is really, really thick
Y'all
on it.
should
Like
not
on
have told me that.
Oh,
No,
they're
I know.
fantastic.
Gary
Yeah.
should not have told me.
That's one of my problems with the Klondike
Will
bars.
Pot Hive mind?
Yeah.
Will Pot Hive mind if we get them to sponsor? If we get the new ice cream bars to sponsor?
Oh, that's a good idea.
A honey flavored ice cream, maybe. I
Hmm.
don't think they would mind. I'm sure we could arrange something. They're reasonable people. I'll talk to them.
Honey bunches of oats flavor.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, Mr. Maxwell.
All right.
Thank
guys
you
have a
so
great
much.
day.
Bye.
Absolutely. Bye.
So, seriously, what are the flavors of the...
We
There's
got
the,
the American Dream one.
Yeah.
What's in that?
The Stephen Colbert with the cone, and it's caramel, and it's vanilla-based ice cream, but it's got waffle cone and caramel and chocolate in it.
Like how you turned
I'm
slightly autistic when we talk about ice cream.
I'm like doing something with my fingers.
But they have
listeners.
they had like a Reese's.
Definitely vanilla ice cream and
Yeah,
caramel,
I was doing something very twitchy with my hand that clearly shows I have a huge fucking problem.
Right.
And Reese's peanut butter cup flavor.
Oh, yeah,
There's a
okay.
chocolate ice cream one.
It's chocolate fudge brownie one,
Yeah.
and then there's
I'll take all 3.
and then there's
There's another
chocolate
one.
chip cookie dough.
Do they have an
chocolate chip
assortment?
cookie.
An
Yeah.
assortment pack?
No, but that would
But I'm
be
telling you,
great.
you'll see them all eventually because this is gonna be a huge hit. They're really good.
They're going to be almost as huge as I'm going to be.
Right.
You think they'll
because
be
of
as
them.
big as that young upstart BB King?
Yeah, he
well,
was a large man.
He was. Well, I think
Lucille, on the other hand, was quite slender. What was that?
We're talking about ice cream again. She's losing
I
it.
got a little tied up in some stuff.
Wow,
Everything's
that
fine.
was. I wish we had
Fenway
a TV.
Fenway is now
monitor.
walking away from me. Just
Yeah, you scared him with whatever that
quietly,
last thing was.
Carefully walking away next to Drew.
I think they're calling them
Like I'm safe here.
Yeah,
pint
exactly.
slices. Is that what they're calling them?
Right.
maybe.
That would make sense
Yeah,
because
maybe.
they're like they're the circumference is the width. I would say. Of
Yes,
a,
right.
Of the
Like as
top
if
of
you
a
took the slice off the top
Well,
and
that's-
then dipped it in
Ben & Jerry's.
chocolate.
That's what they do. That's how they test. They slice
Jesus.
the pints in half,
God, it
and they
just
look to make
keeps
sure
getting
that the
better.
stuff is all in the middle.
We
Right.
got to stop talking about this right now. I'm going to have a nervous breakdown. They're so good. And they're so easy to eat. Like multiples of them. What is this? This is fun.
Oh, I thought we were going to talk about it, but it's just a commercial with
Oh.
pint slices from Ben & Jerry's. Chocolate chip, vanilla peanut butter, chocolate fudge brownie, and American drones.
Wow.
For everyone in Yemen.
They snuck that one in.
Yeah.
Do they deliver it to you in drones?
They do.
Oh.
The Pod Hive is behind.
Oh, that would be fantastic. All right, guys, we got to get going because we got a lot to do today,
All right.
as always. Do we have a little hot topics kind of music?
Hot topics kind of music?
I like a change of topic music.
Oh, I thought you meant like an actual like.
Change
Oh,
of
no,
hot
no.
topics.
Yeah.
Hot Pockets.
Hot topics. Okay,
All right.
we'll wait for it then. Hey, guys, the NC.
Birthday, my father brought me a bulldog.
What the hell is this?
This is a change of topic.
This is the change of topic Gary Busey story.
That is cute.
Is this thing with Ice-T, that movie?
I groomed him. I took care of him. I love that dog. I love that dog.
This
Gary
dog's going to
Busey's
wind up being
crazy.
dead. This dog's...
My father gave me a handful of cherry bombs and M80s and said, "You're going to train this dog to be a protector." So every Saturday afternoon, I got behind a little dummy my dad built, and I'd toss these cherry bombs and M80s at the dog.
I don't like where this is going.
The dog was scared at
Hang
first,
on.
but after a while, he got angry and he would come at the dummy. You get the dummy, rip it apart.
All right, hot topics. Go ahead.
Okay.
Hey, let me ask you a question. One quick question. What's the difference between that we just heard and Will Ferrell pretending to be Ric Flair in that Eastbound and Down thing where he let the boy watch? What's the difference? They sound exactly alike.
Oh, okay. There is no difference.
No
Is
difference.
what you're saying.
It's-
Okay.
Yeah, except that was imaginary and Gary Busey's really that crazy.
Okay, guys. Well, hot topics.
Allegedly.
NCAA tournament ended.
Hey, there we
and
go.
our champion of the bracket system was Mr. Drew
Well, thank you.
Harrison.
Thank you.
Mr. Drew Harrison.
I'm going for the sweep this year.
It's
Fantasy football,
this
March Madness.
This year started off a lot better than last year for you.
Who'd you have in the curling, in the national curling
Hold
championship?
on, we'll get to that,
I had
Gary.
Norway. Is Norway up for it?
I don't know. They might be. We're going to get to that.
Okay.
And basically, Chapel Hill or UNC won, and hooray! Is there anything?
One what?
The NCAA tournament, hon.
Oh, did that happen?
University
That
of
happened.
National Champions.
Why didn't you tell me? You know I like to watch that.
I know. It was on last week, and you just seem so tired.
Okay.
Okay. And the women's side, I believe, was the University of South Carolina.
Duke won.
Cheer for UConn not winning. Thank God.
Yes. Yay. Hooray.
Duke did not win. We went over this. Duke was out.
All right. Well, we'll have Wills check it.
Oh, okay, hon. Yeah. So, is there anything?
Yes, we all hated on UConn last week too.
Is-
We should have been here. You could have helped us.
Was there anything? Anything big takeaways from this, or nothing matters anymore? Everything's a black
Nothing.
hole of infinity. And...
Yeah, nothing matters.
Oh.
Is that the actual hat that Ted Knight wore when he wrecked the yacht sank
You see,
in?
Here's the problem with the visual gag. Nobody can see that.
Doesn't
captain's
alarm
hat.
you that there's a
Captain's
yachting hat laying on
No,
Lewis's?
not
He's
at
got a
all.
whole.
This is-
Did you buy a boat? Yeah. Oh, he did buy a boat.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay, nice. Is there anything? Seriously, before we move on, because I'll just move on. Anything else about the tournament? Anything else? Any takeaways? Anything at all?
That last game was brutal.
It was brutal. How was it? Listen, I think that sports fans as a whole, you guys are want every game to be the most amazing game ever, and that you don't enjoy. Like everyone wants these high scores and no defense and
I'm
nothing.
saying it's just
I
clunkiness.
get tired of hearing people complain like, "Oh my god, the game was so
He
horrible."
is sick.
It was
of
a little
your
hard.
Jesus,
It was a
bullshit.
little hard to watch. There was a lot of
Okay.
turnovers and bad.
I was just
shooting.
trying to get Gary going because he said the same thing.
Yeah, it's true. There was a lot of turnovers and bad
Hey,
shooting.
thanks,
It was hard
Drew.
to watch.
Just trying to get. You said you wanted to talk about it.
Well,
I'm
he
just
should
trying
put
to
on that
talk
hat
about
because he's in the same goddamn boat that you are.
Oh wow!
That's why I put it over there to see
Lewis,
who's
Wow.
driving the boat.
That's the hat of shame.
Right.
it. Jesus.
Lewis is sick of y'all's bullshit.
Yes.
It was a great game.
He
I'm
wants
so
you to
happy I
man-
watched it. It
man
was
the
fantastic.
fuck up
right.
and stop being such a wuss.
Stop complaining about the games.
You won, didn't
Okay.
you?
Yeah.
You wanted to win,
I don't-
didn't you?
I don't want to talk about.
What
it.
was so horrible about the game? Really?
No, it was just it was bad play on both sides there for a while.
Bad
It took
play.
a while. It took them a while to get going.
It's a championship game. How's it bad play? It's the best two teams. What are you talking about? Ohio State
No,
wasn't there.
Duke didn't make it.
Oh,
It was a lot of turnovers and a lot of bad shooting. I don't know.
yeah, no one could make a shot.
The game to watch was the Kentucky-Carolina game. That was a fantastic game.
Fantastic game.
Why was that so fantastic? Why was that
It was
so good?
close
Both
all
sides
along.
were
They made all
playing
the
great.
shots. It came down to the wire. It was just a good game.
So high score.
Yeah, it was a high-scoring game. That's true.
High score means good game.
Fans like offense.
Yeah, no one watches it for the defense.
You notice who's the most successful sports league in the world?
Football.
The NFL. And notice how they changed all the rules, and now the quarterbacks can't bump the receivers and the scoring. They like the high-scoring offense. Everybody likes offense.
I got Gary's question right, at least according to Gary. Some people would say soccer, but whatever. Okay, guys.
Chicago Bears, the 85 Bears.
What?
Most successful defensive team of all time. The only thing anybody talked about was the fat guy running the ball in on offense on the goal line.
Yep.
All right.
Offense is sexy, baby.
All right, change of topic, music, if it's handy, or just Gary Busey again, whichever is fine.
Do you know that Eastbound and Down thing with Will Ferrell pretending to be Ric Flair and talking about his plums and all?
Schaefer being
I just want to make sure, because if there was a world in which you hadn't heard that, we'd have to play it for you.
No, yes.
Okay. All right, never mind.
13 years old, birthday time.
Okay, that's our change of topic music. I did give him the option, and he took it. Guys, the Masters... One of the men fell down.
Yes.
Is what I wrote. I wrote the Masters. The one man fell down.
He made the critical golf mistake. And how many golfers?
His name?
How many golfers?
What's his name?
Dustin Johnson.
Okay.
How many golfers can say this? Because it's happened to them all. The critical golf mistake. He wore socks in a rental condo with hardwood floors and fell down the stairs.
Right.
Had nothing to do with being bombed out of his skull on steroids.
It just sounds very suspicious, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, Tiger Woods once had a small car accident, and then it turned out that his wife was beating his windshield in with his driver at the time.
A golf club, not a man who drove.
They just said driver. I don't know.
I think it was a golf club.
Ombudsman.
Yeah, well, you know what? Will's go ahead and fact check that.
Yeah.
So who's in the lead right now, Drew?
Garcia and
really
Spieth.
Now is Garcia the one?
I haven't looked at it today. Let me see
is second all time for entering a major without ever winning one.
All right, so now it's Rose and Garcia dueling on back 9.
And who's the guy who came out of nowhere and had the great, not the Bill Murray character from Caddyshack? The kid came out of nowhere, had a great first day on the Masters, was under par by 6 or 7.
Yeah, that guy shot 7 under in a 40-mile-an-hour wind on the first day of the Masters.
But apparently he needed that 40-mile-an-hour wind.
Justin Rose is in the lead. Sergio Garcia is 1 stroke behind him.
You might have to go home and watch that.
Ricky Fowler is shooting himself out of contention today.
Okay. Do we know the name of that kid? Kid came out of nowhere.
No.
At Augusta.
I really could care less about golf.
Okay.
That first day leader, I know, it's nobody anybody's ever heard of.
I've never heard of him.
No.
Thomas Peters.
I've heard of those people.
Charlie
never heard of this guy.
somebody?
Yes,
Charlie Schwartzel.
Will's in the future, when you listen to this, will you please fact check those names?
And do you know why Drew doesn't like golf?
Why?
Not a high score. Don't like it.
Oh, that's true. It's all about the low
backwards.
score.
It's backwards.
It's totally jacked
no
up.
No one cares.
Makes sense.
I want to see someone shoot 8 strokes on the 18.
Right.
Yeah.
Not 4.
Right.
Who cares about that?
Right. Who's doing... you know what? Makes sense.
This game's bullshit.
Why anybody? Drew doesn't understand why anybody would want to strike their balls with their club.
Jordan Spieth is reliving last year's Masters meltdown after finding the water again on hole 12.
Found the water? How hard is it to find the water? I would think you just stand there and see it.
Apparently not very hard for
There's the water.
Jordan Spieth.
I guess not.
So Gary, why Drew doesn't like golf because there's no high scoring. It's all low scoring. What about you? Why do you like golf? You grew up playing golf.
I played a lot of golf.
We all know about your name.
Very
I've
relaxing.
played golf too. I just could care less about pro golf.
I like it.
Golf is like putt-putt to me. It's just a game you play with your friends, and you drink and you have fun. True. Who cares about watching it on TV?
I don't need to watch, the Akron Open, but I like to watch the Masters because the pressure is so great. They all choke and hit in the water. It's fun. And then I really like to watch the U.S. Open and the British Open because the U.S. Open, they'll grow the rough to 8 inches, and the best golfer in the world will shoot an 11 on a hole, and you just get to laugh at them.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
I love that. And then the British Open, they'll all shoot 10 under until the third day, a 50-mile-an-hour wind will blow in off the Sea of Firth, and everybody shoots 18 over and collapses. I love that.
You got to play the wind now, don't you?
Ah.
All right, guys. We got a lot to do, so I need to change the topic, music, or just more Gary Busey.
We're going hunting.
Okay. All right, guys. Next topic: the NHL versus the Olympics. The NHL announced Monday that it wouldn't be sending players to the Olympics in South Korea in 2018, they don't really love the idea of halting play for a few weeks in the middle of their season. Granted, their season's 6 months long or
longer
so.
than that.
7-8 months long.
Count the playoffs.
And they were looking for
13 months.
Some conciliation.
26 months.
One
season.
runs into the next. It's like a round, when you start, like one starts and then the next one starts before the first one ends.
What's that play where the thing only appeared every 100 years?
Brigadoon.
Yes, they're talking about taking a Brigadoon approach where they're going to play a game every 100 years. And that way they could fit all the tournaments.
It's a musical.
It's called Durgadurn?
About Brigadoon.
Oh.
I like Durgadurn.
I was like, Durgadurn.
Durga.
Anyway, the ownership has grown increasingly unhappy with the league shutting down, and they were looking for some kind of conciliatory offers from the IOC or the Players Association, and I guess they didn't get it. So they're like, nope, we're not shutting down. A lot of players, however, were like, well, I will not be there, especially the non-U.S. players.
Well, it's weird because it really does run into the season. Like the Olympics does not really run into the other, like basketball. We all cry if they didn't see the dream team to the basketball, but it's in the off season,
Right.
If it was in the middle of the NBA season, I don't know that they would do it.
So what do you guys think? Who's the jerk?
They had to shut down.
It's hard to know who to root for.
They have to shut the whole league down for a month. Like that's asking a lot.
That is asking
a lot, and it's a business, and it's money, right. And these guys are contractually obligated to work for this business, so they need to suck it up and do. So, what the league wants them to do.
Ovechkin's already said, and I'm leaving. I'm going to be playing for Russia. Bye.
We're good.
What
I hope he has a contract. Can you do that?
I guess you can if you're Ovechkin. I mean,
let me put it this way, guys. Cut him?
Let me tell you, put it this way, guys. I know his name, Ovechkin. I said it unprompted.
His last name.
That I know, but that means like he's pretty famous.
What's his first name?
Durgadurn.
Victor. Durgadurn?
Durgadurn.
It's Brigadoon.
It's Victor.
Brigadoon
Is
Ovechkin.
it Victor?
No.
Oh, I don't
Alexander.
know. All right, whatever. Same. It ends
Same
in an
thing.
Ends in an
There you go.
All right. Well, so we just. I kind of think that they should shut it down because the players want to go play, and you're going to have a screwed up month of the season anyway if a lot of your best players aren't playing, and you're going to have low attendance.
I don't believe they're really going to go. It's just I don't believe they're really going to go.
And then if that's the case, America finally has a chance because they've been winning juniors the last few years. So the amateurs will have to play, and that gives the U.S. an actual chance.
It'll be like the old Olympics when it wasn't all
Why
millionaires.
not? Why not? I don't think I'm one of those traditionalists that think a pro shouldn't be in the Olympics in the first place, whether it be basketball, hockey, fencing. I don't care. If you're a pro, you can't be in the Olympics.
Fencing.
Can I tell you all I can...
The PFL, the pro fencing.
All I can think... I know this has nothing to do with what we're talking about right now, but all I can think about all day is that Finland thing that I rated. I can't wait to get to that.
Okay. You can't tell
the most amazing thing I've ever heard. Isn't that amazing?
Yes. Now be quiet
Okay.
about it.
All right.
Jesus Christ. There's no mystery anymore in this podcast. All right, guys.
Hey, let me briefly interrupt you. Anybody seen the movie War Dogs?
Okay. Please. We're on a timeline.
Saw War Dogs last night. It's so great.
Okay. Do you need to take my ADD medicine? Is that the problem? All right. Do I
snort it or do I swallow it?
Can I have some of your
Whichever.
ADD?
No, you cannot.
How much for 10?
Okay. Can we have a change of topic dialogue from Gary Busey, please?
Oh yeah, Jonah Hill.
Great. Best movie I've ever seen.
Okay.
Really?
All right,
really
guys.
Good, man. Seriously.
Okay.
All right, guys.
I read the book, guys. I don't watch movies like that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I actually read the book that's based on.
That must have been a good book.
Well, I'm better than you guys. Go ahead. Keep going.
Okay.
Well, we knew that already. It's okay.
Okay. Can I have a cleanse the palate, another little Gary Busey? Because I tried to change the topic, but it didn't work.
So what did you like about War Dogs?
It was genius. It was great. Like, I couldn't tear my eyes away. It was really funny.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good movie. I don't know quite how to answer that.
Yes.
All right.
Now with authority. Apparently, Gary Busey wasn't getting the job done. All right, guys. The U.S. men's curling team is playing for the bronze in the men's world championship in Edmonton.
That is a hot topic.
We lost already.
Oh.
No.
Who'd we lose to?
Switzerland.
But we just found out
They're all
about it.
fat from eating too much chocolate. How do we lose to Switzerland?
Because you don't have to be in shape to curl.
Well, we just found out about it.
Their stones are made of fine milk chocolate. They leave a
we-
little black trail down the ice as they roll them.
We still came in fourth.
Yeah, all right. Who came in first and second?
They've got to play. It's going to be Norway and Sweden and Canada.
As John Adams once said, if you're not first, you're last.
Lewis and I are having our own game.
Okay.
Sweden and Canada. We lost to Switzerland 7-5.
Wow.
All right, is that a blowout? I don't know.
But did you enjoy that game? Because
Curling.
it sounds pretty high score for curling.
Right, for curling.
That's actually a low-scoring game.
Sorry.
for curling.
A lot of defense.
What's
a lot of sweeping.
A lot of sweeping.
Defense, huh?
What's high scoring for curling? Like, what would be? What
I
would be a blowout?
Ideally, each round, there's
102.
10 ends, and a team should score 1 to 2 points per end.
No.
I mean, one of the teams is going to score 1 or 2 points.
So you think
someone
it should
has
be a
to
double
score
judges
each time?
game?
Someone has to score each time.
No, that's not true. They usually
if
do.
you're playing in the game.
They usually do, but they don't have to.
They don't have
You
to.
think if somebody's not getting over 8, it's boring?
I mean, it's not boring. It's curling. Curling's fantastic to watch.
They changed the rules so you can't bump the rock off the line.
How long have you been a fan of curling?
Since like 3 Olympics ago.
Oh, all right. That's a while ago.
Do you watch on Friday
12
nights?
years.
Do you watch Curling Night in America?
I do. I hack into the.
We've been watching it.
Is there curling night in America?
Curling Night in America is Friday night on Fox. On NBC Sports.
NBC Sports is Curling Night in America.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, guys.
I thought that was a fake thing. That's a real thing.
Yeah,
it's a real thing.
We just watched it.
Wow.
By watching it, I mean,
and it's on. I mean, it's on for like 6 hours.
And
It's on until midnight.
And by watching it, Gary means we're flipping through and we don't immediately change the channel. We let it sit there for 30 seconds.
Yeah, because there's curling, which is not what you're expecting to see.
Because there's a title up there that says Curling Night in America, and that's enough to have us pause and pay a little respect to whoever came up with that.
I would curl if there was a place to curl.
Well, there is at the Ice House here.
Do they do curling?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, I would do that.
Drew is letting.
Who let the dogs out?
Drew. All right, guys.
Wow.
Before we move on,
Feels like I'm done with this conversation.
Quick hot topics, change of music. Not Gary Busey. It doesn't work. Damn it! It doesn't work. All right. Is there anything about the NBA or baseball we need to talk about in 2 minutes?
The MVP race is going to be interesting. In
2 things. One, Kevin Durant is back with Golden State. Played last night or the night before.
Without Steph Curry, though.
Yeah, but he'd been out 20 games with a knee injury, so he's back before the playoffs. And then the other thing, Drew's absolutely right. It's a phenomenal, like record breaking 1,000-year MVP race.
Really? And
some say we might have a co-MVP this year.
Who's in the running?
Kawhi Leonard, Russell Westbrook, James Harden, and then, of course, LeBron James.
Yeah.
Wow. And who's your favorite?
Well, it's not going to be LeBron James.
No.
Who's your favorite?
I think Westbrook should get it.
Yes, absolutely. He's doing something that hasn't been done. It's only been done once before, and it was 50 years ago.
No, he's in Oklahoma City.
Oh, okay.
And which they would not be anywhere near where they're at without Russell.
And
Westbrook.
I don't even care about that. The guy is averaging a triple-double. Only person ever to do that in history was Oscar Robertson. It was 50 years ago. Michael Jordan never did it. Magic Johnson never did it.
James never did it.
Yeah.
Do you know how I know? Because Gary 3 times this week has woken up, checked his sports on the phone, and has woken me up to. Can you believe that this is the first time in 50 years that anyone's been averaging a triple double?
That's one of those records.
Getting you prepared.
And the last guy was Oscar somebody.
That's one of those records that you just don't ever think is going to be broken.
Right. All right.
Nobody's come close.
All right, guys. Anything else about the NBA before we move on to our guest segment?
No.
Okay, all right. Okay, can I have a real change of topic music? I need a little zazz. I need to sell this with some.
I really made him laugh that time.
I need a little enthusiasm. Okay, guys, we'll now call our guest comedian Chanel Ali on the Dead Crow Comedy Room Celebrity Talk Line. Dead Crow Comedy Room in Wilmington, North Carolina has weekly events featuring local and regional comedians and nationally touring comics from TV and movies every weekend, like Steve Byrne this week, star and creator of Sullivan and Son, a half-hour comedy on TBS, and he'll be headlining April 14th and 15th. Whether you're local or one of the thousands of tourists who come to the Wilmington, NC area and beaches every year, be sure to check him out at deadcrowcomedy.com. That's deadcrowcomedy.com.
Dozens of thousands, really.
Yeah, will you?
Sure, yeah.
Hello. Hello.
No, hello. We've been texting. She's going to pick up.
That's what Drew said about his last date.
Hello. Yes. Hey, Chanel. This is Blaire Postman from My Fantasy Wife podcast. How are you?
Hi, Blaire. I'm doing good. How are you? It's good to hear your voice.
Good to hear you again. I met you last year at SheDot. It's wonderful to have you on. I'm going to quick introduce you to everybody else here in the studio. We have my husband and sports stat expert, Gary Hames.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, Gary.
We've got Drew Harrison, comedian and our social media maven.
Hey.
Hey.
And rounding things out, we have our sound engineer, comedian, and man about town, Mr. Louis Bishop.
Hi.
Hey.
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 So, Chanel, I'm going to do a quick intro bio description of you for our listeners. All of those things.
Did you write this?
No, I did not write this.
Okay.
Chanel, my husband thinks that I just make up bios, but I do not.
Okay.
Chanel,
I was just thinking. I was like, did I give you a bio?
No.
Or you guys just making up your own? I trust you.
I Google.
The 34th president of the United States, Chanel Ali, is our guest today.
And you have a very
Give me
nice
all the credit.
Yeah, you have a very nice website. I believe it's ChanelAli.com. Chanel Ali is a stand-up comedian and writer living in New York City. Since 2013, she's performed at comedy clubs in Philadelphia, New York, and cities all over the U.S. Her stage presence and storyteller style make her a crowd favorite as she covers current topics, her upbringing, and her worldview. Since moving to New York in 2015, she's performed at New York Comedy Club, Broadway Comedy Club, The Knitting Factory, Night Train with Wyatt Cenac, and has been featured at the Limestone and SheDot Comedy Festivals. Big round of applause, everyone, for Chanel Ali.
Thanks so much for having me, guys.
Now that sounded right? That was factually correct bio.
The Knitting Factory, is that a place?
It was so good and so accurate that I feel better about myself
now. Oh, good.
Just
We like that.
That I did all these things.
We like going in positive. So, Chanel, as we do with all of our comedian guests, we asked you, what sort of sports or sports-ish things have you ever been involved in, been a fan of? And you told us a couple of interesting things, and I'm going to lead with this. You were in track and field in high school, and high jump was your favorite. So you were more...
High jump was my favorite event, yes.
So you were more of the field than the track, it sounds like.
Absolutely.
And what I was going to say, what did you love most? But I guess, how do you know that you love high jump? Like, how do you get into high jump?
I think I started doing long jump just because I was a runner and they just needed some more girls to be jumpers.
Right.
So
Okay.
I started doing long jump, and I really didn't know anything about high jump. It was just something I had always seen. People do this crazy looking thing over a bar onto like this fluffy mattress. I was like, yeah, they're crazy. You know,
well, it wouldn't be the first thing that crazy and over a bar that ended on a mattress. Okay, so I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm so sorry.
That, you used to leave those to me.
Okay,
Can I get
really
some change of topic music?
Yeah, a little refresh on my palate.
Oh, that's really something my husband usually would say. I thought he'd be proud of me, but he's just horrified.
All right.
So you were doing long jump, and then one day.
I was doing long jump, and then one day they asked me if I wanted to try it, and it took a couple of times before I felt like I had a good form or understanding of how you're supposed to do it, because at first I was like, I can jump over anything, you know?
Right. I'm a jumper.
Clear it regardless. Listen, I'm going to get over this thing, you know?
Right.
So, but when they taught me how to do it right, and, I did like the flop, and I went over backwards, it just felt so amazing. It just felt kind of like flying for a second, and like, all the happiness and love inside of you just like got really warm. And after that, I was like, I really don't care about any of these other events.
Really?
I only want to jump on this big mattress if I can, because every time I do it, I feel real good about myself.
I mean, and then it ends pretty quickly, so you got to do it again and again. But that probably makes you get better.
There's levels to it, because every time you clear one, they raise it up, and then they say, everybody takes a look at you, like, you're going to be able to do this, and you're like, well, we'll see, Mm-hmm. So it was just, I really liked it. I thought it was competitive. I liked sizing up other girls, being like, you can't jump better than me.
That's right.
I liked it.
She was like that backstage too.
Right, I know.
So I'm totally kidding. So they were literally raising the bar. Is that where that comes from? By the way, raising the bar. That
maybe.
Ombudsman.
I'm not sure.
All right. Well,
it makes sense that that's what they
It does.
We'll have our ombudsman fact check it.
Yes, we do have comedian Wills Maxwell as our ombudsman, and he fact checks our episodes each week. So tune in next week, listeners, to find out if that's where raising the bar comes from. Sounds right. Let's say yes. Yeah. And did you give up other? You said I can jump over anything. Were you a jumper as a kid? Were you jumpy?
I don't think so. I think I was much more of a runner. I really started out doing the 200. That was like my real good feel-good race. I wasn't really quick enough for the 100, and I would do the 400, which is like a full lap. I would do that if they really didn't have anybody else that would do it.
Like there had been some kind of accident.
Well,
yes, exactly. And it's like we're doing a meet elsewhere. We're away from the school, and they're like, it's just you and this other girl. We need you guys to run. And I would run the 400 very, very prepared to lose every single time. Very prepared to take that L for the team.
Right.
But, I just didn't enjoy it as much as jumping once I started jumping. I think it was kind of just really clearing those levels.
Yes.
That really made me feel like it meant something,
Like Pac-Man. You clear the screen and you go on to the harder one.
Right. Do you enjoy video games? Maybe.
Yeah.
And did you go on? I don't know if you were in track and field in college, or did you go on beyond high school at all?
No, I didn't. Just high school. I think I went to college. I went to Temple University.
Oh, that's like
that's track mecca, right?
Track mecca. And isn't there something called the Penn Relays? Because you're from Philadelphia. So Penn Relays, I'm so sorry, I'm blanking, but they were, this is going to sound so stupid, they were really important in track and field, weren't they?
Yeah, and I still think every year it's still a pretty big event that people from a lot of places come together to witness, but once I got to Temple, I just felt like they raised the bar too high.
Right.
And I was like, I can't maintain this track and field lifestyle.
Right.
And also do college, so y'all got it. I had fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, and there's not a lot of, opportunity in adult life to high jump, I'm guessing.
Right, absolutely. And there was, they always needed more girl jumpers. So they always tried to, sometimes I even felt like they fluffed us up to make it seem like, yeah, we really think you have an aptitude for this. But the reality was I just had long legs.
Right.
They saw me running, and they're like, send her over there. I don't know. We'll see.
She's bouncy. Let's get her.
Yeah. She seems to have no regard for throwing her body around. Let's see if we can get her to do this crazy move over top of a bar.
And Gary was really excited. I said, she was a high jumper, and Gary's like, flop, Fosbury flop. Like, he said it like Rain Man a few times. Yeah.
People, it's hard to get it right, yeah.
You're just going over backwards with no hands over your head. Is that the gist of it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's kind of like, I'd kind of describe it as like trying to dive, but backwards.
Yeah.
Like you're trying to dive with your head
in the
first same fashion, but you want to bend backwards. So it was kind of like that, yeah.
Is there anything in the other parts of your life that high jumping, whether it's the mental game or anything else, has come into play for you? Anything you take away?
I think definitely it made me competitive. When you're doing the high jump, you're often standing next to the girl that's about to jump after you or before you.
Right.
And when she clears it, everyone is going to immediately turn to look at you like, you saw that, right? 'Cause now you know.
Did you ever jump over and clear it and then just stare back at her and point at her? Right at her?
I'll never forget this one meet. They called me over, they called me on the loudspeaker because it was my turn and I had been, just hanging out with boys or whatever. And so I ran over to hurry up and do it. And the guy was really impatient. I'm trying to get my sweats off, because I had my track clothes on.
Mm-hmm.
And I just ran over really quickly and cleared it so easy that he could not say anything else to me. And everybody else that was standing on the sideline was like, well, all right then. If she wants to run around and come back and do her jump, let her do it,
It's like, hold on, I gotta jump 11 feet real quick. Boom. Okay, what were you saying about that?
Right.
Let me go beat all these people that have been over here trying for 10 minutes. Let me go do this real quick. I'll be right back.
Oh, that's very badass.
Do you know the reason I knew what the Fosbury flop was, Blaire?
'Cause it's a funny sounding name?
No, because we did track and field as like a gym unit of our gym class in 6th grade.
Yeah.
And we had to do the high jump as one of the things.
Uh-huh.
And they let you either do like the scissor sort of thing or you could try to do the Fosbury flop.
Yeah.
And so I decided I was going to try to do it. And so I ran up to the thing. But I forgot to jump forward. I just jumped straight up and turned over backwards like I was going to clear it, but I hadn't moved 1 inch towards the bar, and so I just landed like in the cinders on my back.
Sure. So that was mostly...
And I hurt myself, and they didn't make me do it anymore.
It was just a flop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No Fosbury.
There was no Fosbury.
Right.
Yeah, there is the up part.
Yeah, that comfy mattress is not on the front side, unfortunately for me. It's on the back side.
Yeah, so there is the up part, but then also the moving
Yeah, I got to go forward a little bit, yeah.
Part also. I see. Okay, good to know.
It's a lot of coordination. I feel like it's a lot of things you got to, like, figure out all while you're in the air and prepare yourself. You know, it was a lot of things that I felt like challenged me, and really just kind of being able to put all those things together and accomplish it. It just used to feel so good. I remember every time I cleared that bar, feeling really amazing about myself. You know?
No, it sounds fantastic. I really wish I had had something like that. Okay. But now
Right.
you also said, and this sounds terrible, you in high school you managed the boys basketball team and kept the stats.
Yes, I managed the varsity team for 3 years, the boys basketball team.
And
to be honest, in the beginning, it was mostly because it was just off-season for track.
Okay.
And so I didn't really have anything else to keep me out of the house.
Right,
So
right.
I started, I knew all of the basketball players. I was pretty good friends with them. And I used to go to the games all the time anyway. So I just saw a girl doing the book and doing the stats one day. I was like, hey, how'd you get that job? She was like, oh, you just asked them. Nobody really wants to do it.
Right. It's far less competitive than the high jump.
Kind of how we got the podcast.
It is.
But yeah, it was interesting. I got to travel with the team. I rode the bus with all the players, and I always had to like sit, right at the box, like kind of on the court, and keep the book, keep the stats. And I felt a lot of pressure. I felt a lot of pressure to make sure that I was paying attention and that I was doing things correctly, because people would be really upset if they came and looked at my stats and was like, hey, I had 3 assists, where are they at, something like that. So
right,
it was interesting and it was challenging and it kept me out the house. And I had fun, honestly. I had fun doing that book. It made me feel like I get this. I understand this.
And being with in confined spaces with a bunch of sweaty boys all the time who were probably complaining to you about things probably prepared you a little bit for comedy. Just a little bit.
Oh, my gosh.
What?
I had, on those long bus rides to other schools, I had some really good sets.
Yeah, I bet it did. I bet you did. Sorry, Drew and Lewis, who are, of course, male comedians. And some male comedians are funny. They're now accusing me of sexism.
Listen, why do we have to be male comedians? Why can't we just be comedians?
You're
Don't
right.
say,
how else are we going to know what we're talking about?
Yeah,
here,
right.
Don't say, this is a really funny guy.
Right.
Just say, this is a really funny comedian when I come on stage.
All right, guys.
Jeez.
I get in a lot of trouble down here for that sort of thing.
No, you know what? I know where everyone stands now, so it's good.
It's fine.
I thought we were one way, but now I know that we're the other way.
Hey, I just manage a hardware store.
Louis, you're different. I don't think of you as a guy, Louis.
Yeah, Louis, we don't think of you as a man.
I know, but
I was about to be like, well, what about me? And then I was like, no, okay, I see where that's going.
Oh, okay, good. All right, well, we always play a game with our guests, Chanel, and we have it based on their interests or their sports-ish or sports interests.
Sort of.
In some way. It's derivative in some way of that. And so what we're going to play with you today, if you're willing, it's going to be a little awkward if you're not, but it's a free country, it's going to be people and things that are notable for being high or doing high things trivia.
Yeah, we weren't so interested in the jump. We were more interested in the high.
Well, there was a couple different ways we could have gone, and so we went with the high. So we've got 10 questions here that are based on things or people or something about being high or height.
You know what's crazy is you guys may have done this by accident, but I am the best person to talk to about doing things when you're high.
Well,
it's
here we go.
Literally,
finally someone who knows.
Yes, right on the head. You're killing it.
I am the worst. However, I hang around with a lot of young comics, so I learn stuff.
So you're up on it.
All right,
you
Gary.
know what the smell is.
I've got some stuff. Okay, Gary, do you want to take the first one?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
number one. The mega tall building, it's a high building, Burj Khalifa, has a roof height of 828 meters, which is 2,717 feet. And with its antenna included, it stands a total height of 2,722 feet. making it the tallest building and the tallest structure in the world. Where is it located?
Highest building in the world.
I want to say Dubai.
Yes! Ding,
Yes.
ding, ding,
Wow.
ding, ding, ding. Oh, you are off to a fantastic
Talented and
start.
smart.
Yes. Drew, you want to do number 2?
Number 2.
I mean, ask number 2.
Right, careful.
After
doing number 2 right in front of us now.
I'm gonna need to be. I'm gonna need to be higher.
Yeah, theater of the mind.
Right.
Okay, super high class today, guys. Okay.
After he used this then unusual move to win the 1968 Olympic gold medal, the technique began to spread around the world, and soon those using this move were dominating international high jump competitions. What was the name of the jumper and the move?
Oh, the jumper. No idea. I want to say Tom. Let's call him Tom. And it's the Pillsbury flop, I believe.
Oh, Chanel. If this were
I could be
anything
wrong.
else, it was Dick Fosbury, and it was a Fosbury flop.
Fosbury. Come on.
You know,
Fosbury.
somebody else, I
How
would
is
say
he supposed
close
to-
enough, but, you know, you did the high jumping, so I don't know.
I should have Googled it. 'Cause, you know, they just told us once, and then after that, it was like that thing.
The
So
flop.
Do it
Yeah.
again.
The flop.
Right.
All right. Lewis, are you going to ask a question, or should I just go?
You just go.
Okay.
I'm still mad at you.
You go, girl.
Why would you say girl? Okay. Number 3. This hip-hop star's debut album was released in 1993 under Death Row Records, debuting at number 1 both on Billboard 200 and Billboard Top R&B Hip-Hop Album charts, selling almost 1 million copies in the first week. Who was this rapper / hip-hopper?
Super high rapper.
Dr. Dre?
No, we're gonna keep going.
Oh,
1993,
I think I know.
Death Row Records. It's after
Snoop
Dre.
Dogg?
Yes, Snoop Dogg. We're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
ding, 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 ding.
All right.
All right, Gary.
Okay. Number 4. In 2014, computer scientist Ian Eustace plunged 135,890 feet in a specialized spacesuit, breaking Austrian daredevil Felix Baumgartner's world altitude record for highest parachute jump set in 2012. His free fall took about 4.5 minutes and sent him hurtling to the ground at speeds of over 800 miles an hour. He broke the sound barrier within 90 seconds, setting off a small sonic boom. He is now an executive for what well-known company? It's a hard question.
He fell from a really high height,
Super high fall.
super high fall.
Humpty Dumpty would have just been...
He works for a very famous internet company.
Oh.
If you didn't know the answer, you might do this to it.
That's a good clue.
I didn't hear what she did, but
If you didn't know the answer of where he worked, you might actually do this to find out.
Google it?
Yes, he works for Google.
Ah,
Ding, 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 ding.
That's amazing.
Yeah, this 57-year-old Google executive plunged from the stratosphere
Right.
into near where's that?
You know who gets to do things like that? Billionaires.
Yeah, billionaires
right.
get to do that. Yeah, you got to have a lot of free time and money for spacesuits.
Yes.
Um,
the homeless
And
guy down on
insurance.
4th
He's probably
Street
got
is...
great insurance.
Yeah, oh, yeah, the best.
Right, but you and I don't have a specialized high-altitude spacesuit.
No, we do not.
Right.
Nor do we have access to it.
No.
And how would we even get up there? There's
Right.
probably a rocket.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Drew, number 5.
The Burj Khalifa is 138,000 feet short of where we would need to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Number 5, Drew.
Okay. This is the highest mountain in Africa and rises approximately 4,900 meters, 16,000 feet, from its base to 5,895 meters, 19,341 feet above sea level.
Highest mountain in Africa.
Okay, this is good because I've been to Africa once.
Okay.
But unfortunately, Africa is huge.
Yes.
So I'm really not sure which mountain. You gonna give me a hint? Does it start with a K?
Yes, it does. It's very famous.
Is it Kilimanjaro?
Yes, it is.
Yay!
Ding, 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 ding. All right.
Man, I'm clearing the bar.
You are clearing the bar as they get raised higher. Very correct. So we're halfway done, and so far you're 4 for 5, so that's good.
That's ridiculous. You've already broken every scoring record of this game for the last 2 years.
We're doing very well compared to our normal game outcome.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
We haven't had the brightest comedians.
Oh, no, I think it's... Stop it. Shut up. Okay. Number 6. This hip-hop singer had many, many fine plans, including cleaning his room, going to class. He was going to go to court and pay his child support, but then he got high. Who was this misguided artist?
What is his name? Oh, my goodness.
Where did you...
Mr. or something?
Well, where did you say you had been so you might know the answer to the last question? You had been there once.
I had been to Africa.
Okay. Just tell her the answer.
Wow, you're really stretching for that.
Wait, go ahead.
Is it like Afro something?
Yes.
Oh man,
he's not a woman. I don't want to be called sexist again.
Oh my God!
He's not a woman, but he is a
human being.
No,
Afro human being.
Not Afro human being, but Afro.
Jesus God!
Come on, Chanel, bring it home.
I want to really badly.
It's not Afro human being, but not Afro woman, but Afro
man.
Yes, it is. Congratulations.
Give her 2 points for that. She works on it.
Ding, ding. I'm exhausted.
I know.
Whew. All right, Gary. This is your favorite question. You've been talking about it all day.
I love this.
Here's
This
number
is
7.
true, by the way.
This is true.
In Finland, traffic fines are calculated as a percentage of one's annual income. In 2002, a Nokia executive received the highest fine in Finland's history for going 45 miles an hour in a 30 mile per hour zone. What was the amount of the fine?
There's no way you can know this, but we just enjoy it.
Right. It's a hilarious.
Can I give her some hints?
The fine is in U.S. dollars.
In U.S. dollars. Good question.
I want to say 25,000.
You know what? It's a reasonable guess, but why don't you just go ahead and tell us?
Yes, it's $103,000 fine for going 15 miles an hour over the speed limit because he was rich.
Yes.
Definitely not going to be going to Finland, you said?
Yeah.
Well, not if you're wealthy. If you're cheap, if you're poor, you can just speed around out of control and you get like a $5 fine.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I bet that guy from Google with the spacesuit would get a really big fine.
Yeah, they'd find the I would wish they had this in the United States.
It's such an interesting idea that you just get taxed or you get fined based on your income. It's very interesting.
But it's like that's how taxes are. Rich people, in theory, pay more taxes, and poor people don't pay as many taxes. It'd be like that. It's proportional to your income. It's perfect.
It's interesting.
I like it.
All right, Drew. Let's ask number 8. Oh, this is your. You want me to ask this one, Drew?
Yeah, you go ahead and do that one.
All right, I'll give you the.
I want 10.
Okay, you've been a very good boy. You can have the last question. I'll do number 8. This fashion style gives aesthetic illusion of longer, more slender legs. Their development began around the 1580s. 200 years later, King Louis XVI of France decreed that only nobility could wear them, and only members of his specific court could wear red ones. What is that fashion trend, keeping in mind the theme of the game?
High heels?
Yes! Ding, 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 ding.
I'm amazing.
High heel shoes.
Amazing.
You are amazing. If I were in a pit waiting to jump over a bar, I would be intimidated. And, Louis XVI of France, only nobility can wear them, and only red shoes could only be worn in his court. All right, Gary, number 9.
All right, number 9. According to John Simonton's IQ measuring method, these are U.S. presidents with the top 4 highest IQs. What do we want from her? Just the number 1?
Or, well, if you can give us who you think has the top 1.
How about I read 4, 3, and 2, and then she can guess one?
Okay. All
right.
I can give her hints on all of them.
He estimates, John Simonton estimates Bill Clinton was 4th brightest. JFK was 3rd brightest.
Question.
Yes.
Was JFK brightest before or after the assassination?
And this is all while they were alive.
Before, yes.
Well, I just really lost them, you know.
Number 2 was Thomas Jefferson. And number 1, we'll have to leave up to you.
Yep, the number 1 highest IQ of American presidents, according to this dude.
Oh, man.
Dude.
It pains me to guess this, but I'm going to guess Roosevelt.
It's the name of a beer.
Kinda
like the last name.
The answer is John Adams. Do you have a guess?
What's that, Chanel? You said John Adams, everybody.
Wow. I heard the words John Adams. I think she was the one that said it. Oh, no, wait, it was me.
Yeah. John Adams, according to this method, determined to be the highest IQ.
I was disappointed.
Why is that?
Yeah,
I was hoping it would be George Bush.
Please. John Adams. Okay. All right, and here's the last.
By the way, I did read he estimated, in all seriousness, he estimated George Bush's IQ at 91.
George W. Bush's
IQ?
IQ?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's good, right?
No, sure it is, kid. Sure it is, kiddo.
Keep trying.
Me and my president got the same IQ.
Right.
We'll take the test again next week.
Yeah. All right, this is the last one. Go ahead, Drew.
All right, co-written by Dave Chappelle and Neil Brennan, this 1998 American stoner comedy stars Chappelle, Jim Brewer. There we go.
Ding, 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 ding,
Yeah,
ding, ding,
that was
ding,
easy.
ding. All right. Well, Chanel, tell us, do you have anything coming up or any shows out of town, anything like that you're doing?
Yes, I'm in the Women in Comedy Festival.
In Boston?
April 19th. Yes, in Boston, April 19th to April 23rd. I'm doing like 6 shows for that festival. But you can always check out ChanelAli.com for all my dates and tour info and all that fun stuff.
All right, wonderful. All right, Chanel, we loved having you, and I hope you enjoyed our game. Thank you so much for being on my Fantasy Wife podcast.
Thank you guys for having me. I feel lighter and like I can jump over everything.
Yeah, like I feel like you're going to go out in the park and jump over some benches or something.
Yeah, and I'm going to be like, John Adams is mad smart, right? I'm just going to shout facts.
Right.
Good.
All right.
All right, bye, Chanel.
Okay, bye, guys.
Bye.
Well, that was a fun game, and I think I've pissed Lewis off permanently. All right, guys, that's going to wrap us up for my Fantasy Wife podcast.
I'm just tired of it,
Thanks to all our contributors, Joe Perone, Wills Maxwell, who are both men, to download all our episodes that we put out every week.
I'll throw that in my face.
Subscribe in iTunes, Stitcher, or YouTube.
In all fairness, Wills Maxwell's not really
a man.
This is
my Fantasy Wife podcast. Oh. Thank you, Mr. Bishop, because you're so cute in your little sweatpants over there, for taking us out with the high jazz trumpeting stylings of this dude, Mr. Al Hurt.
Hey, that's my ass, Blaire. Stop.